Happy Saturday, right? What time is it? 12:30. 12:30 Mountain Standard Time. I just wanted to do this live stream real quick, so I document this. Lou, what's going on? How are you? Torchy. Mike, how are you? Kentucky girl. Irish Rover. Thank you very much. Irish Rover is ordering me some more hand warmers. We have some more weather coming in this coming week. Hi, Susie. Steve-O. Diogracia Figueroa. Hi. Bokamo. Discombobulated Tracy. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Hi, Bradley. Lois Douglas. Nate Dog. The Haglin. F in reality. What's happening? Peace Solano. So, hey guys, so there's nothing, overly YouTube famous and exciting happening right at the moment. I'm just sitting in my car, just gathering my thoughts, and wondering where Sally, who says the prayers at the Sheridan City Council meeting, is today. Sally, we need some prayers. Okay. I think I can talk about this now. I'm a little bit dizzy. I was fine. Let me get a drink of water. So today's not a good day. Jesse got kicked out of the motel. Still to date, no response from Denver, from the mayor's office. Remember Matt Wilms? When all of this started, for those of you that have been following the story about the guys in the motel, back around, I think right around December 22nd, it was just a few days before Christmas. I put 3 guys in a motel because they had just been swept that day. And that night, greetings from Detroit. Steve's Happy Little Treasures. Thank you. Hi, Stacy. St. Louis Audits. Sorry if I'm missing anybody. So I put them in a motel because that night we were going to get to about 10 below. And I've maintained this room for this long. This has been the longest run that I've ever had, being able to keep someone in a motel. It started out initially as the 3 guys with absolutely no help from the city and county of Denver. These guys live homeless on the streets in Denver. They are from Denver, have been in Denver for quite some time, at least 2 of them. And alone, I've been able to kind of get some connectivity going to start accessing some resources. But people don't understand that resources don't happen overnight. Housing for the elderly is not a priority for this society and for city government. It's just not. And all of these men are over the age, they're 64 and older. 64, and 2 of them are 67 years old. The reason they were there mainly is because one of them had pretty severe frostbite, the other one had some mild frostbite, and the other one had some very significant health issues that eventually put him in the hospital for 10 days. And he decided that he would rather continue on that track of wanting to put himself in the hospital. So 2 of the guys already got kicked out of the motel. What is this idiot doing in front of me in the parking lot? So it's just been difficult. And one of the guys was allowed to stay. Thank you, Clinton. Give a fuck, give a buck. Everybody know that if you're donating, all your money goes directly to the nonprofit, essentially for triage, to do things like this, to ultimately not have enough money to get a permanent solution, but just enough to offer Band-Aids and save lives and feed people and clothe people and do those kinds of things that the humanitarian duty calls for, okay? So that's what my nonprofit does. It is the government that holds all the money. It is the taxpayers that keep saying to government, yes, please raise taxes to solve homelessness. It's the government that continues to orchestrate the chaos, to continue its dependency, to continue the need for people to depend on government. Hi, David. So today, Jesse has been in the motel by himself. He's been doing okay in his room until today. The motel staff they're incredibly kind. They've been very professional and courteous, and this is a private business. They are not subsidized by government. They have been working with nonprofits and with Jefferson County government on vouchers the last 2 to 3 years during the winter for their motel. It's not the nicest motel, and it's certainly not the shittiest motel. It's a decent motel. They're running a business. They have a business to run, okay? So what they've done for me in the past 2 years is very much appreciated. I don't have any ill feelings or anything towards this motel, the management staff, all of them, right down to housekeeping. I've tipped housekeeping numerous times to thank them for really having to go clean up messes that they typically wouldn't have to do. However, they do. It's their job, and they're getting paid to do that. And when people stay in the motel, they have a job. When people don't stay there, they don't have hours. So I do think the staff understands that, and they are appreciative. But Jesse just took things a little too far today. And he gets room service every day. And he's got some organizational deficiencies in his mind about what is cleanliness versus clutter versus doing damage to the room, whatnot. There is a mental health barrier there, okay? But today, Jesse is either in some kind of psychosis or something else is going on in his mind that I can't address. I'm not a doctor. I certainly don't have the resources to employ mental health help. The city fails miserably at it. And Jesse got kicked out today because he got pretty aggressive with the staff. And of course, I was on my way here and they called me. I was on my way anyway because today is our renewal date. We rent a week at a time. And she called me and she said, Jesse can't stay here anymore. And so when I got here, I tried to unravel it, and Jesse just kept getting more mad. And he thinks somebody's trying to kill him. He thinks somebody's planting drugs in the room to kick him out. So Jesse is refusing to go anywhere except back to the street. Not uncommon. Same thing with Phil. And all of this has taken place with absolutely no response from the city. After those repeated attempts via email with Matt Welms from the mayor's office, who's in charge of enforcement only, right? While the city and county of Denver holds hundreds of millions of dollars to do things that would make a difference and would matter to individuals like Jesse and Phil and a lot of others. Safe outdoor spaces is a real thing. The city refuses to replicate that model that's working. They continue to give them 6-month leases where they set up fishing tents and they have a nicely ran community called a safe outdoor space where the rules can be managed on a daily basis by people who are paid to do so. The city is funding that. They don't like that they're having to fund that because it's working. So what's going to get worse about this whole situation, in the next 30 days, you're going to see Denver double down in aggressiveness in enforcement and sweeps. It's coming. They've already been out this past week and they're ramping up their efforts again to get warrants on campers, to start taking people's homes again. They're continuing to do unannounced sweeps, and that's going to ramp up. And this coming week, we've got another weather event happening. So we're going to have more crisis. It's never ending. And it's getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. And I just have to come to grasps with it that when I get this attached to people, I have to let go because I can't control it all. However, it is fact that people like Jesse and those with severe medical needs are going to cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars in health care, okay? I know a lot of people would rather just see them die. People like this idea of them all being worthless, and we use force on them and involuntarily confine them. That's not happening because this is America. I hope we're going to keep America, but it's not looking good. And Denver's in the middle of their next mayor election, and the reign of Hancock is on the way out, and we'll have a new reign of who knows what. But the next 6 months are going to be total chaos, because what's happening right now is the Hancock administration is putting everything in place, including with the police department, to go out there and clean up these streets so Hancock goes out with a bang. I think the next 60 days are going to be some of the most horrific that we've ever seen in Denver. And catching it on video is all we can do. We can't stop it. And we have to put Band-Aids on it where we can, because the people won't rise up. They won't stand up to this. People won't get out here and do the charitable things that need to happen. The people with the money don't want to give the money because government's got all the money. Government keeps taking their money by force. And homelessness isn't a corporate problem, people, okay? It's just not. I get sick of this conversation about corporatism being the root problem in homelessness because people are greedy. It's not. It's because government is greedy. I don't know when people are gonna grasp that. You'll grasp it when you come out here and you try to deal with government that has the hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? with no end in sight for solutions. Yes, it is bad all over. No mercy, sheep. It is. Government is trying to hire everyone so they are the majority. Bingo. So until there is a very giant generational fundamental shift, this problem is going to continue to get worse. So today's news is that all three guys that were in this motel right before Christmas have now officially all been kicked out, back on the streets. Denver never once stepped up to offer any case management. Nothing. Not one time. And to spare you all the boring details about the politicalness of the director of housing and stability is now the director of the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, Britta Fisher. You stupid bitch. Nobody likes you. You're worthless. You did nothing in your city position, but made sure you went and secured a position for yourself at the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. This woman is going to run that place into the ground. Nobody wants to go to work there. People are quitting left and right. They have no case managers. And they're all we've got in Denver, and that's fact. The rest of it, hundreds and hundreds of city employees, early intervention team. We've got outreach workers at every police department, hundreds of cops out there to help. You know, everybody's out there to help. No, they're not. They're out there to collect a paycheck. While the coalition is funded with taxpayer subsidies, they don't hold the key. The city government does, because they hold the key to all the money. So I fully predict that things are going to get much worse. I've said that all along. Since COVID, you can go back and watch 3 years of videos on my channel and see how things have progressively gotten worse. And they're going to continue to get worse. So I just have to accept that and know that people are going to continue to die. People want government to control everything. This is the result. So, and the truth of the matter is, until there is a violent revolution, it's not going to change. Because I can't go out and physically stop the government and the cops from doing what they're doing, stealing people's property, throwing it away. We can barely get any support through the justice system because we have judges that work for the government. It's the bottom line. Nothing is unconstitutional anymore. We've made so many layers of government. You're not going to find a judge that's going to deem these things unconstitutional. You're going to find a judge in bed with government because judges don't work for the people. And they sure as hell don't work for justice. People won't get off their couch to change government. That requires work. When you don't even see people at a local city council meeting, you know you're doomed. People don't even give a shit what's going on in their backyard until they feel pain and it's too late. Because unbeknownst to them, city council already passed that resolution while you weren't paying attention, and they funded it because they called it help, and people said, yes, we want to vote for more help. We'll give you all the money you want for help. The damage is done. People are stupid. And we are getting the exact government that we've asked for, because the majority of people are stupid and government dependent. So it's going to get worse. And I know a lot of you have been supporting this effort to keep Jesse in the motel. And I thank you. And we'll see what this coming week brings. Thomas, how are you? Good to you in here. I'm 57 years old, and I'll join any military that fights for the people. I have nothing left but country. Quit paying the bills by not paying them taxes. Yeah, Woody, that municipal judge in Sheridan tried to lock me up because I had a question. After he asked me, do you have any questions? He didn't like my question, so he wanted me to quit talking. And in order for me to quit talking, he had to threaten jail. Modern Retro Radio, thank you very much. On days like this, it is hard to remember the success stories. Don't forget about the success stories like the young man who you sent home from rehab. I didn't really do that. He did that on his own. Never gave up on him. Maybe that's what helped him find success. He's still working. He's still at home with his family. Everything is good. A lot of people are just working, trying to survive. They don't see it because they have 2 jobs and trying to not become homeless. More and more people are just on the edge of losing everything. Bingo. Liberty Blair right there. And why? Government orchestrated chaos. Why can you not sue the judge? What am I going to sue him for? Abusing his authority? He didn't actually throw me in jail. The question is, why aren't more people working to expose that judge? That's the question. And forcing Sheridan to get rid of him. The guy's 86 years old. He's incontinent. He pisses himself while he's sitting up on the bed, up on the bench. Okay? And they've kept him employed there. Probably because he doesn't even know if he's getting paid or not. He loves the power. He loves the power. How come, and here's another question, Tom, how come there aren't hundreds of people at that Sheridan City Council meeting? Those are the questions. Yes, Clinton, judicial immunity is very difficult to break through. Tracy, speaking of Sheridan, perfect example. Those people didn't even come to their own meetings until there was drama and wanted their 15 minutes of, we're so tough. And the funny thing about that is none of those people are from Sheridan. So the people that live in Sheridan still don't have any idea what's going on in their own town. And I'm guessing if they did, they'd be apt to not come because they'll become targets. People aren't strong enough, right? And don't even get me started about what Sheridan has done to the homeless. Yeah, we can go down a rabbit hole on that. But Sheridan is a very bad place. Sheridan is a very, very bad place. Denver ain't too hot either. Okay. DJ Plast, yep, you're right. Too busy trying to survive, working multiple jobs, keeping themselves fed, while government just keeps stabbing them in the back. You gotta cut the head off the snake at some point, right? Raymond, I lost everything and was evicted in 3 days on a 5-day notice to evict, forced off the property by 5 sheriffs. I've since relocated and am blessed by God. Good, I'm glad to hear that. And a boring sandwich. You've had your hand raised at 3 city council meetings in a row on Zoom. And here's why you don't get to provide public comment. Because they did away with their 2 sections of public comment when we started showing up. That's what the government wants to do. Hey, Shauna. So it takes showing up for protest and redress. Like when that photo radar van is out there, you show up. Like when you need to show up on the sidewalk and hold a sign and that says fuck this place, they're tyrants. That's what you have to do. So, and sometimes it takes pitchforks. Pitchforks. They're stealing your redress. So figure out how to get it back. The government authoritarians are like the Murdoch family. Yeah, wasn't that something? I'm a couple months from having to live in my car because I can't work and rent is about to get raised beyond my SSDI. My county government is worthless to get help. There's a lot of that going on, googly eyes, and I'm sorry. I really am. It is. It's going to get worse for everyone. Robert, you're right. So, I don't know. I guess we roll over and play dead. We fight. We go down with a fight. I don't know. But the bottom line is, in a civilized society, this is where the rubber meets the road. And I've said that over and over and over, is with its own society members that are the weakest, most vulnerable, and sickest. And how a country responds to that defines their future. Look, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. So, do something about it or don't. Those are the choices. I choose to do something about it and pay a heavy emotional price for it. Government should be afraid of the people, not the other way around. Thank you. Woody, Stockholm Syndrome. Bingo. My property taxes have gone up every year for 10 years in a row. It's unsustainable. Bingo. And we keep letting government do it. There is going to be a shit ton of despair in this country. I mean, like third worldness that's going to have to happen for an extended amount of time for the people to respond to it. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetime, but it's coming for our kids and our grandkids. So freedom over fear. Right, snarky user. Meanwhile, half the shows on TV are telling everybody that they need to take out a $60,000 loan to remodel their kitchen. Parallel societies are forming as we speak. Modern retro radio. Yeah, that's true. The only way people rise up is when bellies are empty, but by then it's too late. I know, and people aren't seeing the warning signs right now enough, I guess, to respond while they're living in their own happy little bubble. While people like Jesse just simply need a tent to live in with a little bit of help. Deserves more than a tent, but if we're talking about what works in the interim right now, the safe outdoor spaces are what needs to happen. And Denver's refusing to do it. So we're just going to keep getting more of the same. All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent. Da news. Thank you very much. Much respect for the badass good ones like you, taking a stand against tyranny and helping the people. Honorable. Freedom over fear. Thank you very much. It's funny how people are still stuck if we negotiate nicely and professionally, we're going to change government. No, we're not. There's no negotiating. There's no negotiating with tyrannical government. None. Soon the United States will be like Palestine. Dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Excellent, Tony. Thank you. Government is never moved based on the desires of the governed. Amen. Modern retro radio. Politicians do fear the people. Another reason that they rarely hold cops accountable, because cops protect them from angry citizens. Bingo. Clinton, thank you for continuing to put that link tree in the chat. If anybody gives a fuck and wants to give a buck to the nonprofit, all the ways to donate are in that link or in the About section of the channel. David Broden, freedom is scary. Deal with it. That's right. In reality, everybody, if you're paying attention to Sheridan is a very notable thing to be watching. Notice how Sheridan employees, friends and family used up all their energy on the other meetings. The ones that did show up were dominated by us and stayed quiet. We have to remember what the end goal is, right? And that last meeting where we signed up early for public comment, yeah, that's what mattered most. So Sheridan has done away with their 2 sections of public comment because they don't want to hear from the people. It is their job to hear from the people, okay? They are using process to eliminate people's voices at those city council meetings. And so they have a process that you can sign up online to speak at the meeting. Well, they take everyone there in person first, and they've cut their public comment time down to 30 minutes because they had to listen to us for 2 hours one time. And they said, we're not doing this again. We're not giving these people a microphone. We don't want to hear from the people. We'll see how that's going to continue to work for them. Yeah, Anthony, that's right. 30 minutes. That's it. Public comment time is at the end of the meeting, and it's 30 minutes. Liberty Blair, they are violating our free speech. Meanwhile, they say prayers in there. Hypocrites. And again, I can't reiterate enough, whoever hit on Sally and her praying at the last meeting, somebody asked her, hey, Sally, how'd you like to be shackled and go to jail for your prayers? Because that's exactly what the police department did to 5 people. Shackled them and took them to jail for their speech because they didn't want to be recorded. Cache Valley said that. In reality. Right on. Karen Oaks Branch in the house. Good morning. Karen, thank you for that super chat. Very nice of you. It's a bad day, Karen. Jesse got kicked out of the motel. So I'm just trying to process that. This was the longest run that I've had, being able to keep a motel room and provide these guys a little bit of solace from the freezing temperatures. And we've got more weather coming this week. That's not good. So, hey Russ, how you doing? Good to see you. Sam reports all local, county, state, and federal employees are welfare recipients on work programs who forgot their low ranking among the populace. They will do anything to keep their cushy welfare jobs. Truth. DJ, they get kicked out, or is it a money issue? No, it wasn't a money issue at all. I talked about it earlier in the stream. I don't blame the staff at all. They probably could have handled it better. However, they're not medical professionals. It's not their job to try to wade through why they are continuing to have to do things that they really shouldn't have to, as far as messes in the room, damage, different things that really require a continuum of care. I've talked about this before with these people needing intensive case management. It's a continuum of care. I can't be here every day to do these things. I don't get paid for it. I just cannot do it. And, you know, the city holds all the money. We never got any help or response from the city on these 3 guys in the motel since right before Christmas. Can they rent a motorhome? No. We don't have any RV spaces here to put motorhomes in. However, you see the homeless living in motorhomes, campers, trailers. Those are their shelters, and city governments are taking them from them. So no, that's really not an option. Yeah, Woody, that does give me some solace. At least we know from these chats that there are like-minded people that care and are left in the world. Thank you. Steve-O, police chief memo about you and DMA escalating police to a deadly confrontation. We'll talk about more of that later. I have to go because I've got a phone call coming in, and I'm going to have to take that phone call. So stay tuned here in the next week for more videos, because all I can do is show what's going to happen in the next 60 days. Maybe people will respond to it. I can't physically stop the government from doing what they're about to do to people for the next 60 days. Okay? It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be psychological warfare. People are going to die. I just learned somebody that I was helping and wasn't able to locate. I wasn't sure why. I just learned last night that he OD'd on Christmas Day. And McGregor in District 4 took his camper from him the day after McGregor took Chandra's camper from her. And it started this cycle for Mike. And yeah, I learned last night that he's dead. So get ready for more, because there's going to be more. This week, somebody's getting their leg from the calf down amputated for severe frostbite. That's one foot. The other foot, they're just going to take the top of the toes off. So that guy's confined to a life of punishment from here on out. How dare him be homeless and get frostbite? These are real stories, you guys. It's really happening. Come out here, I'll show you. The other advocates will show you. All right, you guys have a good weekend, and we'll see you again soon.